integer type variable and I'm not assigning any value to this. And here in the next line I'll write a1 is equals to cin, and okay, not like this, I'll write cin for a1. And if I save this code and let me run it one more time, and I'm getting an option to store a value, so let's say 98. And okay, to display the value for a1, what I can do, in the next line I can have a cout statement and I can write here a1 is equal to the value of a1. So whatever value that I'll store into a1 will be visible over here. So let me save this code and run it one more time. So as you can see, if I enter 56, so I'm getting a1 is equals to 56. I'll run it one more time for a different value so you will have a better understanding. This time let me enter 25, so a1 25. So what I'm trying to do over here, instead of using the generalized syntax that I have written in the comment, so you write the data type and variable name, and on the right hand side of is equal to, you directly store the value that you want to store into byte2. But here I am not assigning any value to the variable a1 that is of integer type at the time of declaration. This is the point where I'm making slash declaring this variable, and at the point of declaring this variable I don't want to assign any value to this variable. So instead of writing is equal to and the value that I want to store into the variable, I'll just simply write a semicolon. I'll terminate this statement over here. So this is like an empty box or an empty variable, and we will store a value into this variable later. And how will we store the value into this variable? With the help of user input. So in the next line I'm writing cin for getting the user input into a1. So with the help of this line number 15, whatever value I'll enter, that will be stored into a1. And here with the help of line 17, I'm simply trying to print whatever the value user has entered for a1. So I hope you are very clear with the basic data types that are integers and float. And now let's move to the next section. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the video lecture on integers and float. This will be around second or third video in the section of variables and data types. So we have discussed about different data types that we can use in C++ and how each variable that you declare in your code has a certain data type. So moving on into the detailed discussion for data types, in this video we are going to see two different data types, that is integer and float. So first, before moving on to the more technical or syntactical discussion of integers and float, let us just have a quick mathematical understanding of what is an integer or what is a float. So usually in mathematics you have a number line. The midpoint or the center of the number line is 0, and on the right hand side of 0 you are having all the positive integers, and on the left hand side of 0 you are having all negative integers. So the entire set of numbers that are present on this number line is basically what we call integers. So here now using this mathematical knowledge of integers into a C++ programming, so we have int keyword that is used to indicate integer type variables in C++. So here I have a very small syntactical example. So let's say we want to declare a variable called salary. So before writing salary we have to use this keyword called int. So if we write int space salary and we assign value 85,000, so what this statement will essentially do is 85,000 will be assigned to a variable called salary, and the data type for this variable salary will be integer. An integer is a fixed keyword that is used for declaring variables of integer type in C++. Now the important thing is the size of this variable that you declare. You can make another integer type variable, let's say int xyz. So the size for integer type variable will be 4 bytes. Next, meaning we can store values from negative of this number to this 214783647. So this is the entire range of values that we can store inside our integer type variable. So I hope you're very clear with what is the integer data type and how do you declare integer data type variables in C++. After this short discussion, we'll also have a look on practical. So let's move to the next data type. Here we are going to discuss about what is the float data type. So previously we were discussing about the normal integers or normal numbers that we have on the number line, and to use them into your C++ programming you have this data type called int integer. Now to work with decimal point numbers or exponential numbers you have this data type called float or double. So I will try to cover float and double together here in this slide because they are pretty similar. I'll also tell you the differences between them. So float and double are the keywords that are used to store floating point numbers, which are decimals and exponentials. So again, the size of this float data type is of 4 bytes and the size for double type is of 8 bytes. So this is